Nice to be in Chicago. I've been traveling about 40 days out of 60 days for the last 6 months. It's been an adventure of a lifetime. I always wanted to travel. I always wanted to do something significant with my time. I get to do both. And it's no coincidence that you're sitting here today with me. You may think differently, but I steer my ship after surviving 5 near-death experiences. I figured I'm probably here for a reason, right? So I put on my mirror and I read it every single day while looking at the guy brushing his teeth. Lord, please reveal yourself to me as you really are and show me where you want me. I will shuffle my feet, I will open my mouth, and I will let you sift them out. I do not face rejection because he made the intersection. So if you're looking at this for the first time, understand there is no coincidence here. No more difference than if you were driving down a road on the way to the gas station. If you hit a red light on the way, the people in the gas station would be a different group of people, wouldn't it? Right? And so that's how I steer things. I move the car, he kind of tells me where to go, and I have fun with what I'm doing. How many people here want to have some fun? Huh? Right? All right, now, that's why I love to travel. And understand, if you have a spouse that wasn't on board, welcome aboard. She said, are we rich yet? Right? So understand, we waited a year for this to come. They said it's opening next month. It's opening next month. It's opening next month. And I kept working. Some people didn't. It's opening next month. Okay? 11 months later, my first check was my first pay was 179 euros. Aren't you excited? Hey, you know what she did? Way to knock it out of the park, big boy. Right? Okay, now, first of all, I'm going to lead you through a logical sequence of events. First, we're going to play and go through a PowerPoint, the company design. Okay? And so, if we can have the next slide, please. Karatbars International is an e-commerce company. It's headquartered in Stuttgart, Germany. It's privately held, has no debt, never has had any debt from its inception, and it is not in the agenda of the owner to ever incur or put you in any debt. Okay? Number one, we're full of debt-ridden world, aren't we? Okay? Now, this is your Karatbars team. That's Mr. Harold Sykes in the front. That's Mr. Thomas Schroner on the right. And there's your support, your IT, your security, your delivery. Yay. Okay? And if we had 5 Martina tags in that office right now, man, would we have something spectacular. She really knows how to get stuff done like this. And many times, what I understood in Miami where we went was the charm of seeing a man with a vision, not with a tremendous corporate resume, although he's taken whatever he's done to the top in anything he's ever done. But to have the vision and have the principles to found that for you to succeed, we are the ones that help translate the website into English. Aren't you excited? Yeah. Okay. Okay, next slide, please. That is our new office building we're moving into in the first week of July. It's next to Mercedes-Benz Truck World headquarters. It's about 4 times as much capacity as we had before. And Federal Express is going to put one of their own employees on their payroll in our office to help get all that through customs, okay? We're currently shipping out about 500 packages a day with a new inventory control and such with our new office, et cetera, and the staff and production, we should be able to move into 2,000 packages a day. So thank you for being patient. You know, just figure how many minutes are in a workday? And how fast can they, what it takes to put 500 packages a day out? Think about that for a minute. Okay, now, experts recommend, here you go, gold as a safe haven for your wealth as preservation. Understand that gold, metal, is insurance. It's not an investment. Gold ETFs and stocks are investments. Can investments go to zero value? Yes. Gold, although the price may go up and down based on man's manipulation of the paper market tied to gold, okay, the physical metal has never lost its buying power. What it would buy 100 years ago will still buy what it buys today. It's just that we see different amount in the price. Next slide, please. Now this here, does anybody have a dollar? If you want, you can take out a dollar, I'll make a point. Okay? This here is supposed to represent your labor. You understand that? That's what that is. That's a representation of the labor that you gave to somebody else. And you know what credit is? Labor you haven't given yet. And with all good intentions, you only have 24 hours in a day. So understand, this here is man's debt money. Okay? Now, if you have a dollar, this originally was worth 1.5 grams of gold. Did you know that? No. They're good. They didn't teach you that. They didn't teach me that in school, did they? Right? This original buying power, this is the buying power after World War I and World War II. This is the buying power after the Korean War. You want to fold it. This is the buying power of the dollar after the Vietnam War, and also when the dollar was no longer backed by the discipline of only printing money by how much gold you had. This is the buying power of the dollar after Desert Storm and the end of the Cold War. This is the buying power of the dollar after the Afghan War. We're still there. This is the buying power of the dollar. After the Iraq War. Are we going back? Don't know. Look at it. Now, if anybody was folding that dollar, was it getting harder for you to fold it? That's like you trying to operate with the programming that you've been put in your head on how to meet the needs of the economy because nobody's given you a new program update. And so the essence of what you're going to see tonight after this corporate presentation is a simplicity with God's money, gold, always equal to the task to extract it out of the ground. A natural and logical solution on how to unfold the buying power of the labor that you gave to somebody else, and you can't do it in paper. Okay? Now, that's the simplicity. Now, if you pay attention and you take action, because you never get paid for what you know, you only get paid for what you do with what you know, right? Right? If you do that and you decide that you think it's a good deal for you, it's for somebody else, and you decide to tell somebody, they're not only going to unfold your buying power, you're going to be grossly overpaid for your repetitive actions for doing something and helping somebody else and not being stingy with the information. Let me tell you what a thin line it is that we're sitting here together. There was a man named Randy who called me after a year. And he said, Dan, it's just not happening for me. I said, keep doing it. We showed the plan to one person, and that one person said, not now, for a year. And then out of the blue, after Randy called me the very next day, right? This man we told a year ago said, are you still doing that? He goes, yeah. Why would I stop? Good. Because you're the first person that actually showed me the business, and now everybody's telling me about it, so I want to get started. And from that, led 3 people to Derek Brown, and all of you are here because somebody said, I'm never stopping. That's the fine line. We're all connected. Now, I'm not anything special. Who knows what I used to do? It was a license. What would I do? Yeah, I was a licensed and bonded repo man. They call me Boomer. Hey, let me tell you, as that, they called me lots of names. But this is a family meeting. It's okay, love them anyways, right? But I've seen a side of life that most people haven't seen. Now, the solution to the worldwide debt, savings, and currency crisis lies in the very thing that has been here since the beginning of time, and that is that metal right there. Okay, so the solution to the worldwide debt, savings, and currency crisis is this. Do you get paid in this? Yes. And so whatever happens to this happens to everything you kept in this, correct? And so what you do, you put this money in your paper money bank, and then you spend it, right? The solution is very simple, is to open a free Karatbar account. No cost, no maintenance fees, no other obligations, free software to use so that you can take some of that paper money that you make and put it into physical gold metal. And as the value of the paper money goes down, which I have total confidence that they will spend more in Washington than they bring in, correct? Yeah. So as the value of the paper money goes down, the value of the gold account does what? Or it preserves the labor at that point. Okay? And if all you did was use the account like a lifeboat, but a lifeboat without Karatbars is a pile of wood on shore. Make sure you're not swimming with the sharks. It would balance out your losses. What if you don't have one of these? 2 jobs, 3 jobs, companies cut their hours to 30 hours a week so they don't have to comply with other things. Kids stay home till they're 25 and 26. You see apathy. We see antidepressants in our children. I think some of them aren't depressed. I just think some of them are just not inspired. Maybe we have missed that mark. And so we're going to use word of mouth together in a mission to teach the next generations to save properly. You cannot outwork an exponential inflation with a linear income anymore. You need a new program update. And this has no place to go but one direction, as every single fiat paper money has ever gone. So, the question comes about with this company. Next slide, please. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this, we're going to turn it into this, and we're going to put it in our piggy bank. We're not, okay? We're going to save it. It still forms the same money. We're not spending money. We're exchanging one kind for the other. Now, why are people raving about Karatbars? Next slide. Karatbars are produced only by LBMA accredited refineries on the London Good Delivery List. Why is that so important? Next slide. The London Bullion Market Association regulates all gold worldwide. They determine what is and what is not good for settlement of debt worldwide. Understanding the vision of Harold Seitz is whatever we have to do has to be and fall along the lines what is already used as settlement of debt. So what you have is a very specific classification of gold. And that is the governance. The LBMA governs refineries as to what they produce and the quality, and out of all the refineries out there, there's only 55 that comply, that at any given time you can go and check one of any of the products that goes out of their vault, and it will match exactly what they say it's going to do. And if they don't, guess what happens? They lose the accreditation. So they're not going to risk it. Do you understand? They're not going to risk that accreditation and honor by not doing what they're supposed to do. It would be foolish. And believe me, those people are not foolish. Now, so we have 3 different refineries that we use. The currency grade gold is very specific. This is God's money. Okay? This 999.9 impurity, it's stamped by an LBMA certified refinery on the London Good Delivery List. And those 3 things make this a very unique asset class of gold. There's lots of different asset classes of gold. And so our product, unique serial numbers on it, on the ingots, and on the front, laser etched to match a different hologram on the back. Okay? We have 1 gram, 2.5 gram, and 5 gram denominations. With that, we produce. Many people have never seen 24 karat gold. Do you know a Krugerrand? Krugerrand has 1 ounce of pure gold in it, but it's not pure gold. It weighs more than an ounce, and it's only 91.9% pure. Okay? This is real 24 karat gold. No alloys, anything in it. 999.9. That's a 2.5 gram, and that's a 5 gram bar. Now what I'm going to show you here is a simple that we're going to go into in a minute, but my entire business fits in a box in my back pocket, and I can run it from a phone anywhere in the world. And so if we take a closer look at these, the holograms and other features make this a recognizable shape, isn't it? How many of you have something in your wallet that looks that shape? You see the programming of the brain by familiarity? Okay? Smart, Harold Smart. And to know that this acts like a mini vault around so you can tell if somebody's tried to tamper with it? Smart. Okay? And in measured weights, in case the power went out, think about it for a minute. If the power went out for a couple of days, you'd start to see things probably within 10 hours, right? What if it was out for 3 weeks? How are you going to buy stuff? You know what? We know we're going to turn it on, right? But what are you going to do in the meantime? Some of you might be able to use a word-of-mouth credit with somebody that you know. But you know what? I have full confidence that there will be merchants out there that would take that, right? To keep what would perish from perishing, correct? Because if it perishes, then it isn't any good, right? So what I want you to think here is globally. Forget what's happening here. Because this is the world's exclusive reserve currency until it is not anymore. Right now, here's where we're at. 2 years ago, the government collected $3 of fees and taxes to figure out what to do with $1 to any services. Last year, the government collected $4 in fees and taxes to figure out what to do with $1. This year, the government is collecting $5 in fees and taxes to figure out what to do with $1. I can add. You know where that one's going. What if that happened in your home? Right? Okay. And so the longer who's got a CD in here? Anybody got any money in a CD? What do you do? If you don't mind me asking, how much are they paying you for that? Huh? Did you? Okay. Anybody else have an active CD? Nobody wants to raise their hand. All right, look it. I like to have some fun with what I do, but I need to make a point. For every dollar you got in a bank getting what? 1%, 2%? Maybe? If you get that, the real rate of inflation is 11%. They only tell you it's 2 to 3%, only because that's the core rate of inflation. There hasn't been one person in the administration for 40 years. Not now, 40 years. Nobody's given you the real numbers. Because if they gave you the real numbers of inflation, they'd have to index Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, unemployment, cost of living adjustments to the new rate. They can't. So they all give core rate of inflation. So if you add gas, food, and electricity, it comes out to be about 11%. So that means for every dollar you got in your paper money bank, you're losing 9 or 10% interest. Now, I'm sorry, I might be a knucklehead. By the way, I'm the Karatbars poster child for the common sense knucklehead. I've done everything wrong, but I said, okay, that was a lesson you wanted to teach me. I hope I don't have to repeat that one 5 times, all right? Okay, now, next slide, please. All right, the hologram technology on the back ensures that counterfeiters, first of all, the thought of them trying to counterfeit that, wouldn't they try and do something bigger? Right? Don't you think so? Now, the hologram ensures an asset class that very few gold sellers, the company sells gold, that very few gold sellers have. So there's only about 5 or 6 manufacturers that have it with the holograms on it. Next slide, please. The quality, the laminated coating is special, and that was an exciting time in Karatbars history. How many here saw when we had the lamination problems? Anybody here? Oh man, I keep a couple just for historical purposes. Man, they were. What happened when they left? They were in perfect shape, but when they went to extreme temperatures in a plane and no pressure, any little air around them surfaced, and when they came, you could like shake them and they go rattle, 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 rattle. And so, have we learned? Yep. Next. These laminates right here, they're heat sealed with the most specialized stuff. We figured it out. Now we have multiple lamination machines and technology that will keep this for decades in the quality. Next slide, please. Special lamination process will withstand boiling water for hours. Next slide, please. Extreme cold temperatures on top of that. Next slide, please. You can even bury them in the ground, and the UV protection will guard that ingot. Nice thing about gold is even if it wasn't, it doesn't rust or rot. Right? Okay, next slide. Okay, that is why Karatbars are unique. This is a very special classification of gold, which allows us to do something very unique in the world and be able to offer anybody, regardless of their age, regardless of their educational status, regardless of their language. Doesn't matter which country you live in. Doesn't matter whether you drive a nice car. Doesn't matter if you live in a home that has wood floors, tile floors, marble floors, or dirt floors. If you have a desire in the will in here, you can build an income regardless of what's happening in your local community, even Detroit. Build a global income. Global. Makes no difference there. Okay? Now, next slide, please. And so the quality, value, and protection is evident. Next slide. In Karatbars, you'll maintain and direct and manage your own account. You don't need a broker involved. You can manage it yourself. Now understand, this is not Karatbars are gold as money in inflation insurance. They're not gold as a commodity. This isn't a program for the Wall Street trader mentalities, and it's not a speculative investment on how to acquire it by buying low and selling high. This is a day trader program. This is your preservation here of the labor that you gave to somebody else. And the simple process, most things are simple. If you stay in this, you're going to buy less stuff in the future. If you exchange into some of this, you're going to buy more. It really is that simple. Okay? Next slide. We offer both delivery and storage for you if you choose. We don't make you do anything. The company does not have any mandatory requirements in anything except to follow the terms and conditions that they lay out and represent the company properly. Next slide. So free enrollment, free website, no costs, no maintenance fees, free website, no website fees, no other obligations to do anything in any manner, shape, or form. If you want to use it, it's a tool in your tool belt. How many people here have a tool in their tool belt? Okay, how many people here have a toolbox in their home? You got one tool, or you got a bunch of tools in it? And when you need that tool to do a task, do you want it there? You don't have to go try and find it, right? So it's better to have it and not need it than to not have it and need it. Okay? Okay, next slide. We have an affiliate compensation plan that pays you 7 ways. What I'm going to show you after this only pertains to 2 ways. I figure if the 2 ways aren't enough, what good are the other 5 ways? Right? Right? Okay, now. And so, next slide, please. The dual team system, which was born from our failures. We only got paid once a month in the unilevel plan. You know what? Did your bills only come in once a month? They come in week by week by week. Right? And so you had to do a ton of work in order to get paid a lot. And so for most people, they couldn't stop. I was working 70 hours a week while my wife was home with my autistic son. So she didn't have to go work. And so the dual team system was the culmination of 10 things that we gave to the corporation. We need your help on this. This, and this needs to get fixed. So they put it in a big soup pot, and they came up with a dual team system. Now not only could you get paid once a month, you could get paid once a week. Right? Much better. So you got paid 5 or 6 times a month. I like that. Right? So did my wife. Even when I wasn't popular. Okay? Right now. So click on that slide, please. Okay, part of that didn't come through. Look at there it is. You got 2 arms, right? Yeah. Dual team systems, 2 arms. I got one here and I got one here. The system isn't revolved around how many people you bring in, it revolves around how much volume is created. 1/7 amount of people properly trained and educated produced 10 times more than the group that had 7 times the people. It's all about volume. Okay? Now, we have direct referral bonus in the unilevel plan. There's 12 ranks that you can go through. Next slide, please. And €2 in every that you spend outside of delivery goes to 1 point. The points revolve around your rank. And at the end of the month, they look at how much production you had and how much volume you had going through your business, and they pay you from 0.5% to 6% on whatever happens there. Okay? Now, the great thing about that is you get a chance near the end to get qualified to make more money. Okay? Now, the director ranks, you have to qualify every month. And they pay from 5.5% up to 6% on that in generational overrides. Next one. Next slide, please. Gold Director Elite bonuses. We have some Gold Director Elites in the room. You know what happens if you're Gold Director Elite? Somebody says, I want to be that one too. And they put in the work, and they find the right people, and guess what happens? Then you make generational overrides with them too, and all their team does. Next slide, please. Dual team system strategy, 2 arms, create volume on this side, create volume on this side. One thing you can do is go find a person that thinks this is a good idea, put them here and put another one there, and tell them to do the same thing. Now, can you find 50? Yeah? Who here has found more than 5 people? Who here has found, look at all them hands. How many people found more than 10? How many people found more than 20? How many people found more than 50? How many people found more than 100? Gets thin down there, but guess what? Over time it will be. Next slide. Disclaimer, understand, income projections are shown in US dollars. The action plan uses mathematical examples that are dependent on you following the plan as described. Incomes can't be guaranteed because we can't guarantee your effort or the effort of anybody that you bring in, correct? That's the good part. You know why? Because this will not be built by you convincing somebody to get in. What do convinced people do? Nothing! Okay? This will be built on finding people who have the hearts of champion, who know their purpose in life and see this, and you are never going to stop them from doing this. Ever. Ever. There is no chance, no destiny, no fate that can circumvent, hinder, or control the firm resolve of a determined soul. And that's what you're looking for. So we can cut through a bunch of stuff. In the process, if you're not one of those people, do you know anybody who fits that description? See, this is an equal playing field for you too. Right? But Dan, I'm lazy. Great, find 2 people that aren't. Okay? Right? All right, now. Blah, 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 blah. If you can read that, you read it. Can you read it? Yeah. All right, good enough. Next slide. I don't mean to be, I can't read that from here right now. Okay, now, next slide, please. So, how simple is it? Understand. Who here has told somebody about something they like or something they don't like? Everybody, y'all do it. My wife says she's not a networker. Good. Good. But when she goes in the room, she loves everybody, everybody likes her, and guess what? She doesn't even realize it. That's exactly what most networking is. Making a connection with somebody and taking your eyes off of yourself. You want to know what Repo Man learned? Fear. Who here is in a career that they never planned to be in? Wow. How many people here have a college education and they're not even using that field? Look at that. Me too. Right? But I wanted something more important, so I performed different tasks. Let's have a look. Next slide, please. We have different packages you can choose from. Okay? These are business marketing packages. They are optional. There is no requirement to buy them from the company. This is an optional compensation plan that if you want to take effect of it, you have to get a package. But you can still make money in the unilevel plan. It's just not going to be fast. It's not going to be a lot to start with. Follow me? Okay, now, next slide, please. The direct bonus, if you have a package, depending on the package you have, from 5%, 10%, 20, 15%, and 20%, you can make direct commission on the packages that you find affiliates that want to participate in the dual team system on top of the free version. Next slide. So a VIP can make almost $440 in a direct commission for finding another VIP. And so we have two arms. Anytime you got 25 units of volume over here and 50 units of volume over here, or 25 over here and 50 over here, you do what Jeb Lingau, the guy who set the company record, is you bingo. Okay? And based on what package you have determines how big your bingo is. All right? Now, you can make between $13, $54 at silver, $81 at gold, and $112 at VIP. Next slide, please. And different things create volume. Okay, we have a team unit weekly payout that goes by cycles, by how many times in a week you cycle. We used to have some caps on that. We don't have caps on that anymore. That's for you long term. We're just getting started, folks. We're the size of a mite on the backside of a flea. We have the best game you will ever find if you take a good look at us. Best game. Entrepreneurs across the planet are getting involved when they understand what they have, and I will go into that. Next slide, please. I'm a common sense knucklehead. I've heard, you think a man who's repossessed over 34,000 vehicles from planes, boats, motorhomes, cars, trucks, whatever, do you think when he knocked on doors to ask people for either money or their car, do you think he heard every story in the book? Yes. All right. So I call it my repo radar. All right? One simple verification. That's annoying. The company has their own private issue MasterCard. Do you know only legitimate companies get one of these? Now understand, in expanding this business, there are going to be people that try and take this e-commerce company and explain it to somebody and not do it well. Welcome to beginning Karatbars 101. Whenever anybody asks, is this thing legit? If you got one of these, just pull it out, but don't give it the card to them. All right? Pull it out and say, you realize that only legitimate companies get one of these, right? 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 Right. I'll do right 20 times till they go, yeah, right. And you watch your face, your whole posture goes, yeah, you're right. Okay? All right, it's a great tool. Now, this right here is how we get paid every Friday. I can go anywhere in the world and go use this. 32 million locations, and I don't have to ask them to put the money on the card. Now, when you start making more than the daily deposit on that, then you have to ask them, will you please make another deposit on the card? That's a good phenomenon to have. All right, now, next one. Next slide, please. Thank you. Look it. Here's the basis of it. Get in, get started, and get committed to what you want, not what I want. Not what I want for you, and not for what the person that brought you here wants for you. What do you want? Are you getting it with this? Or do you see the fact that you're going to have to make more of this in the future in order to do what you used to do? Do you see that? So here's a solution. If you don't do this, what are you going to be doing next? Now, that's the end of the presentation. I have a 3-minute video that I'd like you to put up there, if you would please, because this sums it up. Along the way, there will be people that come into your life and across your path, whether you find them or not. And we're going to listen to this.
And some of those books. Let me tell you something, folks. I believe that books, as you've heard many times, that leaders or readers. I believe books are the things that will change you and change your attitude about who you are. I believe in order for you to get the $10, $20, $30, $40,000 a month in income or more in Karatbars, you must first start to believe that it's even possible for you to do that. It is said that when preparation meets opportunity, success is the byproduct. What preparation opportunity means, many of us, many of you have been prepared to succeed in Karatbars. Your past experiences have prepared you. It doesn't matter how many times you've been in some program before, how many times you failed in anything before. This is a new start. And you must start to believe that it's possible for you to go and roll 2, to go and roll 50, to go and roll whatever amount of people is required to help fulfill your dream. But I would recommend you also start to read and start to develop that self-image, because your income would never really outstrip your self-image, as Anthony Robbins has said so many times before. I have a couple books I recommend that you put into your library. Number one, of course, I'm going to promote my own, Enemies of Your Success. I recommend you get a copy of this book. I recommend you read those. I recommend you talk to someone who has read this book before. I also recommend you get a copy of How to Overcome 1 in 3 Ways to Fail. Now, we're not a network marketing company. This is a whole new ball game, folks. In many ways, you got to forget whatever experience you've had, because you're in a whole new ball game. But you can succeed. But it starts with you understanding that you must be prepared to succeed. Some people get in Karatbars, they take off, they go off right away, they go and roll 5, 10 people, and they're on a 12-week program, they're flying. And then some people, it takes a while for them to engage. I make a statement all the time: love everyone, wait on no one. I also want to talk about some books that have prepared me to succeed in Karatbars. The first book, of course, is Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Look, if you don't have this book in your library, you should have it. It should be in every success library in America if you're serious about success. The second book, of course, he's written is called, a lot of books he's written about life, just The Conspiracy of the Rich. You want to read that because it talks about what's going on, why gold is so important. And then, of course, this other book prepared me, definitely, The Creature from Jekyll Island. It makes me understand why what we do is so important. We're on a serious mission here, folks. You can succeed, but you must first believe that it's possible for you to succeed. And that comes with developing your self-image, putting information in your mind every day that elevates your belief about who you are and what you're capable of doing. I'm telling you that everybody that's listening to this video message can earn $10, $20, $30,000 a month, whatever you want to earn. Because it's not about the money, folks. It's about freedom. What we own is a freedom. What we have is a freedom plan. In 12 weeks, we have a freedom plan that can set so many families free. You're in the right place at the right time. Prepare yourself to take advantage of it. I want to leave you one last thought. And I've said this so many times before, and I'll say it again. I'd rather chase a dream with passion, with energy, have someone excited about every single day, and chase that dream all my life that never comes true, than to live life without a dream at all. It's worth it. Elevate this thing to a priority in your life and make it happen. Good day.
You know, some of us are the ones that go past their obstacles and help others believe. And the key thing in this, where we're at right now, your self-image is always basically tied there. Do you know who you are? You're the sons and daughters of a king. Okay? Make no mistake. Okay? Time to seize your birthright with his money. Now, you like that one? I couldn't help it. I love that one. You know how many people say, hey, they're going to take care of everything. All right. All right. Are they? Are you 100% sure? I mean 100. If you're 99.9 98% sure. Are you willing to bet everything that you worked hard for on the fact that they're going to take care of the things they need to take care of? Are you? If not, it's nothing like having something in place and not needing it than not having it and needing it, right? All right, now. Next slide, please. Look it. He's put a computer between your ears far more sophisticated than anything man's going to create. Correct? Now, we're creatures of habit, and we've been programmed. Make no mistake. All right? Now, the most difficult thing for me to do is pass one idea to one person to another and not be misunderstood. Ask anybody who's been married. Right? Right? Even though you were sure about what you were trying to tell your spouse, they did not hear it the same way. Right? Okay, right. Now, a happy wife is a happy life. I've been married for 26 years. Okay? You are right again, dear. Right? And you can be right or you can be happy. All right? Choose your battles. Right? Okay, now. Next slide, please. As I said before, this is the root of everything you see. All the symptoms we see in society. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you right here. What you're going to see here on this presentation is how to take that Karatbars e-commerce gold sales company that offers you rewards if you decide to tell anybody else, or whether you just decide to use the account for yourself for self-protection, with no other mandatory requirements in any other way. Okay? And how to take what they offer, and then we figured out a plan that makes sense and helps you overcome many challenges by a strategy. How many of you have been in a career, what we said before, anybody been in a career more than 20 years? 25 years? 30 years? 35 years? Anybody? Okay, come on up here. Real quick. Can you come up here? You able to? Come on, if you were 35 years, come up here real quick. Okay, well that's okay. We'll take care of that. That's okay. Hang on. You're it? Wasn't there one other hand in the back there? Here. That's for your pain and suffering. Okay? And would you hand a 20 to Paul's mom there? Okay? And wasn't there one in the back, right? That was you right there, wasn't it? And will you do me one more favor? Will you take that to the lady in the pink and black over there? Now, understand, money isn't good or bad, but it does bring out more of who you really are. And when you have a lot more of it coming in than you need, you can give it to people who you want to. And by the way, God loves you. Give him the credit. All right, now. Click next slide. You can stay right there. If you've been in a career more than 10 years, you're just performing tasks, correct? Who's been in a job career that they never planned to be in? Right? You're just performing tasks again and again and again and again and again. Now, if those tasks were ever designed to make you wealthy, don't you think they would have already done it by now? Right? Some tasks pay you $30,000 a year, some pay you $100,000 a year, some pay you $500,000 a year, and some pay you $2 million a year. It's a task that we perform. But what were they designed to do? So in the times we live in today, click. Do you think there's anybody out there somewhere? Is it stuck? That might want to take a look at a legitimate business plan to produce $4,500 a week of passive income in 12 weeks. Do you think they're out there? Okay, now how many? A few? A lot? More than a lot. I always ask people, are you one of those people? Understand, my goal is to show somebody the plan. Once I show the plan, it's out of my hands. He's either going to let them see it, boom, or not. Now that's how I steer my ship. And when you come up and you do your whenever you show somebody or however you live, I'm not here to impart that onto you, except that it worked real good for me. Okay? So when somebody tells me no, they're not saying no to me. He's the one that made the intersections. Follow me? Now, next slide. This is the buying power of the dollar. 40 years ago, would buy you 5 loaves of bread. Next slide. Okay? A gram of gold would have bought you 5 loaves. A dollar would have bought you 4 loaves. Next slide. But after 2 generations of printing money backed by nothing but a promise of man, a gram of gold will buy you 20 loaves. Next slide. And a dollar will buy you a half a loaf. And folks, next slide. Okay? That's the difference between gold money and paper money. So if this is supposed to represent the labor you gave to yourself, which one do you want holding your retirement? This or this? So, next slide. It all boils down to this question. So the real question is gold money. How do you get the most of the best quality gold money for the least amount of time, effort, and personal finances? Some people think there's only 4 ways to acquire gold. Some people think they're going to acquire more gold by inheriting it. How many people here are going to inherit gold? There's usually one person in one. Honestly, if you ask that in a crowd, one. You're going to inherit gold? Okay. Okay. Number 2, some people think they're going to acquire more gold by extracting it out of the ground. Who here is mined or panned for gold? There's usually 1 or 2 people in the audience. Anybody? Nobody here? Wow. Okay. Well, I don't blame you. Number 3, some people think they're going to acquire more gold by buying it out of their pocket. And they want to get the biggest size possible so that they can get it less. Correct? And that's logical, isn't it? It's logical. But that doesn't necessarily you're going to be able to do that. I mean, how many people here with all good intentions wanted to save up or something? And then something came up. Right? And then guess what happened? You didn't get that thing that you wanted to save up for. Okay? And if you did, how many people bought like clothes on sale with credit cards? Right? Everybody's done it. Right? And by the time you paid it off, you paid more for that than if you didn't buy it on sale. Right? Okay, now. So we're here to show you option number 4. On how to acquire the most of the best quality gold for the least amount of time, effort, and personal finances. And we don't advertise this, so the only way you're going to find out about it if somebody thinks enough of you to invite you to come see this. So if you're brand new looking at this, you ought to thank the person that brought you here so that you could even take a look at this. The 4th is to set up a Karatbars dual team system. Do the 12-week accelerated strategy. And whether it took you 8 weeks, 6 weeks, 20 weeks, or 52 weeks, the plan works. Okay? And you're going to acquire far more gold than doing that than you will ever buy out of your own pocket and any dealer. Period. Period. So how do you save money in these times? It's very simple. It can't be made out of paper. Anything in paper is worth less tomorrow than it is today. The price of gold goes up and down, but the buying power of the metal has never changed. So this preserves your labor. Now, next slide. So understand, Karatbars does not teach you how to build anything. Karatbars provides a platform for you to succeed. They are an e-commerce company. Like Amazon, like eBay. Well, you know what's different? Does Amazon and eBay, did they have to put paper money in your hand? No, you already had it in your hand, right? It's what was familiar, right? Well, Karatbars is developing the world's first and only honest money system, that anything that can be bought in paper money could also be bought in fractions of a gram of gold money if the gold money were uniform and recognizable across the planet, and the only kind of gold that all banks and governments already use to settle debt. That's when you're going to see this. A next step up our staircase to where you have a system with nothing printed out of thin air. No credit, no fractional lending, like when you give a dollar bank and they can loan out 9 more and make 9 times the interest, okay? To where it's understand what we are. We are not here to compete. We're not here to replace. We're here to be a logical commerce mechanism when the paper money across the planet, this stuff, goes into trouble. This is man's debt money, man. Okay? And so we're going to be the pressure release valve for commerce. We're going to be good for countries, man. They're going to like us. Why? Because as long as commerce can continue, and on the transaction of that, you will pay the sales tax. Okay? The barter exchange. But as long as they can collect the sales tax, it will keep commerce moving through a time when the paper money goes into turmoil and then settles out into prosperity for many. But in the process, those that are not prepared are going to have some tough times. And so here it is. If businesses can't move whatever goods and services they have, what happens to them? The expenses go up, the bottom line profits go down, what happens to them? They go out of business or they have to borrow more debt, right? And so for business owners, this may be the true alternative economic commerce mechanism. We're the pressure release valve for countries. They're going to like us. Okay, so understand, what you're going to see here is a strategy. It was designed by successful affiliates, not by Karatbars International. That's why we show this PowerPoint over here is what they offer. And this is what we did in taking that and put it in a recipe for many people to understand. And can I have the next slide, please? What you're going to see here is another disclaimer. I do it many times. Income projections are shown in US dollars. The action plan uses mathematical examples. How else are you going to show it? That are dependent on you following the plan as described. Incomes can't be guaranteed because we can't guarantee your efforts or your team. And as I said, that's the good part. Next slide. Here's our objective. Big picture. Business owner's hat on. Put your business owner hat on it. My goal is to show you how to remove yourself and man's debt money from the process of you creating a lifestyle security if you're older, or money, time, and youth if you're young. We're going to get you off of this and self-contain you, for those that want to, on a system that runs in your back pocket, that you can go anywhere in the world with this in your back pocket and get paid on this. This is the correct way to move paper money. This is the correct way to save money. Paper money to do what you want, how you want, when you want. Gold money to preserve your labor and prepare for the future. You're going to buy a whole lot more stuff here. And this system will allow you to determine how much you want in paper and how much you want in gold. You get to choose. Right? Now, next slide. Everybody positions themselves to get in the way of the movement of money. Right? They do. How much time do you think that surgeon spent in college, and how much money? Somebody tell me.
8 years.
And how much money? Maybe $500,000, right? Right. Now, he positioned himself because that's the way he's been programmed. And he might actually like being a surgeon. Right? Most of the time. Okay, I'm sure it's very tough if you lose a patient. Okay? Now, what if he gets carpal tunnel? Right? Gets in a car accident. So the point of this is this. What we have here in our box is going to position yourself as an entrepreneur in front of the largest market transfer ever in world history, as 14 $1,300 trillion of fiat paper money backed by nothing but man's promise has to move historically, logically, and mathematically to gold, silver, and oil-backed money. And electronic money backed by currency-grade gold. What kind of gold do we have? And where gold is money, not a commodity, right? So for an entrepreneur, you get to position yourself in the front of the wave of that change in the infrastructure, utilizing the infrastructure paid for with someone else's money. You don't pay for it. How many people here have a traditional business? Anybody traditional business owners in here? You have to make a payroll? Yes. Is that hard sometimes? Yes. How about a storefront? You got a storefront? So if everybody gets paid, and if you pay that, you might make something sometimes, right? Imagine if the money you could make if somebody else paid your payroll and somebody else paid your storefront, and you get to keep from the work that you did. Would that be a good deal? That's what you got with Karatbars in front of the largest market transfer ever. Let me understand this. $1,400 trillion, the largest economic engine on the planet, the U.S. economy, can't deal with a $17 trillion debt limit. Making my point? And so you can position yourself in front of that by taking some action, and you get to choose how you participate with that. Next slide. And by the way, if Karatbars gets 1/3 of 1% of that entire market transfer, it'll be bigger than all the markets of health, wellness, weight loss, nutrition, water, food, juice, coffee, energy drinks, shopping portals, gifting programs, jewelry, cosmetics, cars, shoes, clothes, advertising, and travel, all done combined. Okay? You want a hunk of that? We're just a mite on the backside of a flea. We are a universal solution to the worldwide debt, savings, and currency crisis. That's what we are. What's Karatbars? A universal solution to the worldwide debt, savings, and currency crisis. That's what we are. What's Karatbars? A universal solution to the worldwide debt, savings, and currency crisis. Next slide. We're an e-commerce company. All that stuff, as a business owner, you don't have to pay for that. It's all paid under the corporate umbrella for you to succeed. All you got to do is see if somebody wants to look. Hey man, in the times we live in today, do you think there's anybody out there somewhere that might want to take a look at a legitimate business plan to produce $4,500 a week of passive income in 12 weeks? You think they're out there? Yeah, how many? Few? A lot? More than a lot? Are you one of those people? Next slide. 5 main points for entrepreneurs. This is what they look at. Understand, 95% of the population makes their money with a linear income, and they only got 5% of the wealth. They're employee or self-employed. 5% have 95% of the wealth. Okay? The key point about that is they understand systems and they understand the dynamics of these 5 principles. 1, what's the size of the market? I just told you. Right? Number 2, how do you open up outlets to capture that market? We register free accounts. Some want to use them, some want to tell a few people, some want to follow a plan to make residual income and acquire a lot of gold. Okay? Some want to talk to companies, some want to talk to create self-directed IRAs through Entrust Financial. Okay? Some people want to bolt on generational wealth plans. Some people want to bolt on network marketing companies. Some people want to help nonprofits. There's all kinds of things we can do. Okay, what's the time and cost to open the outlet? That depends on how you want to market. At what point do we get a return of capital? How much did it take you, if you don't mind me asking, anybody who owns a business owner, how much capital did it take you, whether you borrowed it or had it, in order to open your business? $50,000, okay? As soon as you earn $50,000 back and it pays for your expenses, you have just earned a return of capital outlay. Okay? So the point of that return is simple. You be a VIP, you sponsor 4 VIPs, and you've earned back every penny that it took you to be a VIP, to where you've created an asset that spins off residual income without any risk. Follow me? And what's my ROI on the time in the capital? The time, let me put it this way. The big picture, residual override on reoccurring savings plans deposit globally. Forget about what's happening in your local area. As the paper money has more problems, more people will be attracted to Karatbars than ever would before, and there'll be, I don't even want to say how many people I think are going to be joining a day. You're seeing it at a good time. The infrastructure's in place. So, and you all get to use a system paid for with someone else's money. Next slide. That's the happy elephant in the room. All those different pieces. So when somebody sees Karatbars or tries to explain it, they might be thinking, remember what I said about being misunderstood? They might think you're that little toe running around selling gold. Nothing wrong with that, but it's kind of like a job. My friends and family said, Dan's not the gold salesman. He's the ex-repo man that wore lunch on his shirt. What does he know? Right? That was my communication. That was their perception. I didn't mean to do it, but that's what they were thinking. And to them, it was a yellow hunk of metal that sat in a drawer and didn't do anything. Didn't bear any interest, and I need tires on my car. Okay? And besides, your family members probably seen you throw up on your shoes. Right? Right? That was a conversation on a three-way call of a guy referring his cousin for me to talk to him. First thing I said, you're his cousin? You ever see him throw up on his shoes? And he laughed. He goes, yeah, don't hold that against him. Okay? Have fun with what you do. Look at all those things are there to create volume. Remember, it's not the number of people, it's the volume they create. Next slide. And so, how do you, what's the time and cost to open up outlets to capture the market? There's any way you want to market it. The no-cost way is calling on the phone. Hey, Bill, it's Dan. Listen, you got a minute? You tied up? No, go ahead. Hey, Bill, can I have 3 minutes of your undivided attention? Will you give me that? Well, yeah, Dan, what's up? Here, listen to this. Three-way message into him. I didn't have to say it's perfect. 2.5 minutes later, great message, Bill. What's your level of interest on a scale of 1 to 10? You're an 8? Okay, an 8 to me means you're very interested, but obviously you need to get some details and have some questions answered. Is that what I'm hearing? Yep. Okay, do you have the flexibility in your schedule to see a live webcast between 11 a.m. Central or 8 p.m. Central? Which one would be better for you? 8 p.m.? Great. How about I call you at 7:45? We'll both get online. We'll both watch the webcast and see if we're looking along the same lines or not. Sound good to you? How many times could you do that? Who has more than 100 contacts in their cell phone? Raise your hand. Don't be shy. Raise them. How many people have 200 contacts in your phone? 300. You know you're sitting on a gold mine. Do you realize you think there's 2 people in there somewhere that might want to take a look at a legitimate business plan to produce $4,500 a week of passive income in 12 weeks or 8 weeks or 20 weeks or 52 weeks? Do you think they're there? What do you think the best way to find out would be? Call them! Right? That's only one way. And then you have people that are internet wizards. And they go, blah, 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 and they pop up. But you still have to segue that person with a call. This is a family business. And our family members don't hide behind the door. You've got, however you used to drum up a person to see it, you still have to engage. And the only way, I'm going to tell you right now, the only way it's going to work for you is you got to take your eyes off of yourself. You got to take your eyes off of yourself. And you have to be of genuine interest to see if what you have might save somebody's marriage, their children, the next generation. Okay? That's where the blessing comes from. This is a unique business. You cannot be a secret agent in this and make it work. So what you're seeing here is a logical plan. It's got a logical relationship with every economy on the planet. But you have to take your eyes off yourself. Understand it's a repo man. I've been shot at. I got stabbed in the chest. I've had a board broken over my back, been bit with a hematoma from the top of my back to right here. Okay? Bit by dogs, broke my neck. And I realized that you never get paid for what you know. You only get paid for what you do with what you know, whether you want it or not. Okay? So taking your eyes off yourself would mean a tremendous amount to other people's. Okay, now, next slide. Even business owners, traditional owners, you have a cost of customer acquisition, don't you? However you do, if you don't advertise or network, what happens to your business? Right, you got to do it anyways. So think like a business owner. Sometimes you just got to change your perception. Why do I like Karatbars? Here it comes. Because what you're seeing here is unique in the world. This isn't like some other networking company. It's built on the 4 pillars of truth about all economies and wealth creation. It's timeless. It's not the idea of the day. Why? We're money. How many people got money in their pocket? How many? Just about everybody, right? And so after seeing our plan, poverty is self-inflicted. Work on your self-image and take your eyes off yourself. Things happen. The pillars of truth. Movement of money is the key. The velocity in which the money moves is second. You have to move money toward you with a system. And then by paying yourself first. Why do I like that? Next slide. The movement of money is the key. There isn't any economy in the world that doesn't revolve around the movement of money. Okay? There are some areas in the world that have very little movement of money for the masses to get their hands on. And so it causes lots of black market activity. Next. The velocity at which it moves. Our strategy empowers you to take a lifetime of 30 years of doing tasks that will never get you free and push it into 12 weeks, whether it's 8 weeks or the record setter that did it in 24 days. Incredible effort. Or 52 weeks or however long. You get to choose how long that's going to take. Literally. Next slide. You have to move money toward you with a system. Why is it that 95% of the population and 5% of the wealth? Because they've been programmed by TV to spend every dime they have and push money away when it comes to them on doodads that make them look good and feel good. Every single person here's done it. Right? 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 Okay. Now, why is it that 5% have 95% of the wealth? One word, system. Save yourself some time, effort, and money. Business owners use a system like a franchise model. How many franchises have you seen? Drive down the road. Count them. Fort Collins, Colorado. I don't think I could count the number of franchises on the block driving. I just don't think you can do it. That's how many franchises there were. They're systems. The guy who owns a Pizza Hut takeout and delivery may not even like pizza. Makes no difference. The system makes money, not him. You got to put a system to work. Business owners know that when money comes toward them, they push it out into a system that rubber bands, expands it, and puts it back to them multiplied over. Our plan does that. Takes the people with little, who's been doing tasks for how many decades, and can move them from that side on the left with little to right over to the right side with a lot. You get to choose how long that takes you. Next slide. The basis of the program is simple. We take this, we turn it into this, and we save it. It's still here. You don't eat it, drink it, wear it, smoke it. You don't clean with it. You don't pass it through your kidneys. It never looks bad on anybody's financial statement. No one is sorry they got gold on their shelf if they stop doing it. And guess what? It isn't making any better 24 karat gold. How many people involved in a tech product? And somebody comes out with the next better tech product. Right? All the work you made. How many people involved in wellness and nutrition and all that? All those things. Look, you need your health. Okay? You need it. But how many people, if you're involved in making money with it, have had them go to the next better health product? Right? Nobody's making any better 24 karat gold. That's why it's a logical solution, because this is gold as real money. Next slide. So what we're going to teach you how to do is be a brick. We're going to teach you how to be a brick. Not the best gold salesman. Okay? And then we're going to teach you to connect people to be bricks. And in the process, if you want to sell some gold, great. Whether you sell it to you or you sell it to someone else, makes no difference. We're going to create volume. Next slide. And then we're going to connect people to where we're going to create an asset that stands on its own. So brick is task number 1. 2 tasks that are going to make you wealthy. 2 tasks is all. How do you make money in Karatbars? 2 tasks. Yeah. Task number 1, become the brick. Right. Next one. There it is. Task number 1. You enroll, you get a package. I don't care which one you get one. You KYC, which is know your customer. You establish, protect, and secure identity to your account. And then you buy 1 gram a week for 12 weeks in your own account. Not in your wife's account, not in your friend's account, in your account. Whether you keep buying or not, I suggest that you put as much gold as you can in your pocket, because this is going to allow you to buy way more gold than you'll ever buy out of your own pocket. Acquire. Task number 2. We connect the bricks. We team up with 2 people willing to do task number 1 and task number 2. That's it. That's how you make money. It isn't any harder than that. So stay away from all the shiny stuff on the internet. You'll see 55 different strategies on how to do it. And half of them don't even have the right accurate information on it. Okay? Now, there's no need to focus on anything else. Next slide. Task 2, we connect the bricks. Next slide. Here's the system. He's taken a long time to bring you here, but I have to make a logical connection with you. First thing you do, as I said, who's brand new here? Anybody invite you? What's your name? Chris? Ed? Fred? Fred? Who invited you, Fred? Lauren. Okay, Lauren's invited you here to take a look at this. Now, if this makes sense to you, or it doesn't, here we are. That's like Lauren's come to you and say, Fred, here's a deed to a piece of property. Free and clear. Here's deed and title. There's no taxes owed on it. There's no encumbrances owed on it at all. It's yours to take if you want to. What you do with it, it's your choice. You want to will it to your children? You want to will it to a church or charity? You want to transfer it or you want to sell it? It's yours to do with what you want. All you got to do is say thank you to Lawrence. Okay? Free. There's no logical reason not to do it. Next, immediately acquire a package. It matters not which one you choose as much as it does matter. Go back 1 slide. As much as it does matter that you choose one of them to open the key to the vault. You get to choose your paycheck. You work in a structure like that. What does that look like? That's a structure of the government. That's a structure of the corporations. That's a structure of the unions. That's a structure of the school system. Now, what's the top of a corporation? Is a CEO, right? Why don't you be a CEO of your own future? Okay? And so this is how it works. You get to choose your paycheck. In this, you can spend 2, 4, 8 years of your life, 10, 20, 50, $100,000, $200,000, so you can get a piece of paper that gathers dust the day you get it, so you can go work in a structure where they tell you how much they're going to pay you before they replace you. And anybody here have to ask their boss for a raise? Raise your hand. Was that uncomfortable? And how much mental agony did you go through so that they could give you $1? Right? Right? In our system, you get to choose your paycheck. You get to choose when you give a raise. The only person you have to ask is the person brushing their teeth in the mirror. Okay? You can start at an entry level called a bronze. Okay? Or you can go all the way to VIP. That's CEO type pay. If you're an entrepreneur, don't even mess around with nothing. Go straight there. You spent more money on all kinds of expenses opening up your other business, and this will pay you 10 times more and give you more freedom if you work it. Okay? And so the bronze pays you 5% direct commission, silver 10%, gold 15%, VIP 20% on the non-gold products. Obviously, no one can pay that much on gold. We pay 0.5 to 6% on the gold on top of what we do here. Okay? And so whether you start at entry level, you go up to top, that equated in real estate, Fred. What happens to the value of any piece of property if you put a building or a structure on the piece of property? What happens to value? It goes up. So the structure added value to the property no matter whether you willed it, transferred it, or sold it. And it never goes away, right? So does a package. A package adds value to the account that never goes away. And it's real estate in the world's first and only honest money system, almost 5 years in development. We're the way of the future. If you're involved, understand you are one of the enlightened economic minds. Now, a bronze package is like a cottage. A silver package is like a condominium on the property. A gold package is like a custom home. A VIP is like a mansion. That's where CEOs live and make CEO-type income. A VIP exclusive, that's like a mansion next to a 10-lane freeway, and they allow you to put a toll booth on one lane. Regardless of where you are, it just, whether it's a little or a lot, makes no difference. The traffic is going to run through this. Okay? And that's why they call it exclusive. Not everybody's going to get it. Those that get it, understand it. Now, the next part here, this is the third part of the brick. You're going to take $65 of paper money that you made from your job, and you're going to turn it into gold money. And you're going to put it in your gold money piggy bank. We want you to do that once a week, every week for 12 weeks in your own account. I think you should continue to acquire more gold. Yes. Keep doing it. Yes. Okay? Keep doing it. Now, do you need anybody else's permission to open your own free account? No. You're not moving money though, are you? Remember the pillars of truth about all economies and wealth? Free account, costs you nothing. Now, you don't even have to buy anything to make referrals and make money that do buy stuff. Did you know that? That's why we're a great company across the planet. But you're not going to make a lot. Next, acquiring a package. You don't need anybody else's permission to decide to take one or not, correct? You can do it if you want to. Number 3, you don't need anybody else's permission to take paper money, which isn't going to get more valuable leaving it paper. You're going to be losing it, and turn it into gold money and save it properly. The correct way to save your labor in today's world. Now you're moving money with velocity. And the last part was this. You answered the question. In the times we live in today, do you think there's anybody out there somewhere that might want to take a look at a legitimate business plan to produce $4,500 a week of passive income in 12 weeks? You said lots. Well, let's find out who the 2 of the lots are. You want to find 5? You can. You want to find 25? There's no limitations. And there's no mandatories or slaps on your wrist if you don't do it. But this is an example of how we make money. It's not set in stone. It's got dynamics. That's the brick. More people would be willing to do that than go what they perceived you doing and running around selling gold. Last is we're going to find 2 people, and our goal is to find them in our first week. Now, how many of you are good at whatever task you perform in your job? Raise your hand. All right. What made you that way? It was your attitude, right? Right. You didn't know anything about that before you went into it, correct? Right. Well, guess what? Give yourself the grace not to be good at this at first. You don't have to have $50,000 on the line with a traditional business, right? But you have to have the same mental attention with that. Will everybody give it? No. Will some people do it? They'll do 10 times more than you'll ever think they'll do, ever. And so it doesn't matter which arm that they fall on. And it doesn't matter if they're here or all the way down at the fingertips. You just need 2 places that take off, whether you found them or someone else found them, and do your share of work, and the rest fixes itself. This is not dependent on who you are and what you think you can do. This is about opening up doors, taking your eyes off yourself. Some will do a little, some will do a lot, and in the process, it will look like a Christmas tree. If you don't stop and you believe. But what would you give your A-game effort for? What would you give it for? You give it for your boss, and he is probably not giving you the life you want. Oh, it might be okay. You fur-lined that rut. Put a nice fur line around it, right? Nice fur line. They give you 2 days off a week. But let me tell you right now, it took a long time for me and my wife to understand that our commute to work was to drive 15 miles one way to go to the ATM machine and take $900 a day out of the ATM machine every single day. And she goes, you know what? I looked at how hard you worked, and when I look back, you worked way harder at Repo Man. I worked way harder at catering. My brother on the roofing company, worked way harder than the tasks you performed and kept doing it over and over, and you just take it personally. You were on the mission. Next slide. So let me give you an example how the money works, okay? Understand, this is a perfect world example. I'm going to use the least participation model in a perfect world example, and guess what? The world ain't perfect, right? So anything I show you here, it can look different for you, but anything more than that, it can get better, right? So let's just think about this. 2/3 of the planet makes less than 500 euros a month in income. So let's start there. Which is bigger? The people you know or the people you haven't met yet? Right. Okay, now, there's where the blessing comes in. So let's just say you got back with Lawrence and you enrolled, you got a digital bronze package for under $35. If you wanted to dip your toe in the water, you might do more than that if you wanted to. And then you uploaded some documents to preserve, protect, and establish your identity with your account. And then you bought your first of 12 grams, 1 gram each week for 12 weeks in your own account. And then your first week, whether you had to ask 2, 5, 10, 20, or 50 people to take a look, there's only a finite number of people on there. They ain't got neon signs on them. But they're looking. And guess what? Some of them won't be a level of interest of 8. They'll be a level interest of 2. So you're interested. And some will be, I'm a level of interest of 12 out of 10, and I don't want to wait till tomorrow. How come you didn't call me before? Guarantee you. That I can guarantee you if you ask. 100 people, watch what happens. Now, week number 2, you didn't find anybody else. So this revolves around a perfect model and the least participation model in a perfect example where everybody's a bronze. Everybody finds 2 in the first week. You can find as many as you want, but finds 2 in the first week and never found another person. Bought 1 gram a week every week for 12 weeks in their own account and never bought another gram after 12 weeks. The second week, you took $65 of paper money out of your pocket, you turned it into gold money, you put it in gold money piggy bank, and you saved it. You made nothing. Week number 3, you took $65 of paper money out of your wallet, you turned it into gold money, put it in gold money piggy bank, you made nothing. Week number 4, you took $65 of paper money out of your wallet, you turned it into gold money, you put it in gold money piggy bank, but you made $26. Week number 5, you took $65 of paper money, you turned it into gold money, and you put it in your gold money piggy bank, you made $39. Week number 6, halfway through your 12-gram commitment, you took $65 of paper money, you turned it into gold money and put it in your gold money piggy bank, but you made $65. So understand, if you're going to do this, you're probably going to talk to 95% of the population who makes their money with a linear income, a job or self-employed. Doesn't that make sense? So they're going to ask you, how much does your gold cost? Because they've never seen the leverage you can get with this, so be nice to them. Well, if you make at least as much money as it takes you to acquire your own gold, how much does your own gold cost you? 0. Can you buy it cheaper anywhere else? This system was made for thrifty gold acquisition enthusiasts who want to acquire the most gold of the best quality for the least amount of time, effort, and personal finances. You can't get it cheaper than free. Okay? It's also going to be common. Well, Dan, isn't it like money from a job? I mean, how much you making? How much you making? That sound logical? Because that's the way they've been programmed. Be kind to them. They've never seen the leverage before. You're right, it is like money from a job week 1, when whether you had to ask 2, 5, 10, 20, or 50 to come take a look to find the 2 that we're going to duplicate. But how much more work did you do week 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6? You didn't. Now you did it before. Now you're getting paid for what you did before. Unlike the person that works in this structure. They go to work on Monday, get paid on Friday. Go to work on Monday, get paid on Friday. Go to work on Monday, get paid on Friday. Don't go to work on Monday. How much is he making? Do you see? That's been the return on the investment of that man's time doing the tasks that he has been trained to do that were never designed to get him free. Add 2 tasks under what you do. That's all you have to do. Okay? Now, you still have 6 more grams to buy, right? Week number 7. You have now created a perpetual like gold acquisition account, and you have removed your personal finances from the equation. You now are going to use your System MasterCard, and you're going to take $65 off your System MasterCard, turn it into gold money, put it in your gold money piggy bank, and you made $143. That's more money than it took you to be a bronze. Week number 8, you took $65 off your System MasterCard, turned it into gold money, put it in your gold money piggy bank, you made $286. That's more money than it took you to buy all your other gold, which means you just got a business free and clear and got the gold for free. So how many people you got to go take to any gold dealer, no matter how they entice you, and how much gold do you have to buy before they're going to give you residual income and allow you to get your gold for free? Follow me? Week number 9, 65 off your System MasterCard, turn it into gold money, put it in your gold money piggy bank, $546. Week number 10, $65 off your System MasterCard, turn it into gold money, put it in your gold money piggy bank, $1,131. That is $54,000 a year, taking the money that you made from your job, saving it correctly, and telling a couple other people that thought this was as good an idea as you. Some of you aren't probably making $54,000 a year. It's been tough times. A lot of people have been downsized. A lot of people have had pay cuts. Okay? Now, week number 11, $65 off your System MasterCard, turn it into gold money, put it in your gold money piggy bank, $2,223. That's $110,000 a year on top of what you're doing in this model. Week number 12, $65 a week off your System MasterCard, turn it into gold money, put it in gold money piggy bank, $4,485. In a perfect world, where everybody participated in the minimal level of bronze, only found 2 people in the first week and never found another person, only bought 1 gram a week for 12 weeks in their own account and never bought another gram. Folks, that's life-changing income. And maybe you believe that it'll only work for half of what you hear. Because your wife's going, you ain't met my husband yet. Right? You ain't met my husband yet. Next slide. You see, the basis of the program is the velocity of the movement of money. Buying 12 grams one time doesn't have any velocity. Making 1 transaction in a month doesn't have velocity. Buying 1 gram 12 times over 12 weeks has velocity of the movement of money. It pays everything different. Okay? And so the flow of grams that go through that, by the time, in a perfect world, if you got down to the 12th week, 8.19 kilograms, 8,190 grams of gold would be running through your business. Running through it. That's moving real gold money through it. Not a stock, not an ETF, which you're never going to be able to exchange into real gold bullion anyway. Physical metal. Picture that in your lifeboat. Now, if you're making money like that, does that allow you to acquire more gold instead of take the cash? That's not even figured in that. Nothing. What if you found 3 people? What if you found somebody who's found 200 people? You're ruining all the numbers. Totally ruin them. And so the better package you have, the less people and the less transactions it takes to make way more money. More. Next slide. Silver package pays you initially 4 times more than a bronze. Both taper down, but it takes less people and less transactions to make more money. Within the 7th week, if you were the only silver, no one else and the whole thing was a silver, and you were and everybody else was just a bronze, you were the only one. By the 7th week, you'd have a return of the capital it took you to participate in the program. From that point on, it's 100% cash flow positive. It's different if people are silvers and they sponsor other silvers. It's all different. Next slide. Gold package pays you initially 6 times more than a bronze. And if you were the only gold package holder and everybody else was just a bronze, everybody found 2 in the first week, only bronze, only found 2 in the first week and only bought 1 gram a week for 12 weeks. By the time you get down to the 7th week, you have already recouped and earned enough money to do that. If everybody was gold through that program, guess what? First week you made enough money not to have to come out of your pocket. Week 1. Next slide. VIP package level, top of the food chain. If you're an entrepreneur, go right to VIP. Don't wait, don't mess around with it. It's too valuable. And guess what? If you ever decide to do something with that account, that value of that package stays right with it. That, for some people, that is prime real estate. Because you just add time, and if you're fortunate to be in the group that you're here with, things are moving and shaking very quickly. You know, you'll create your own dust in this thing. Okay, it's better to make the dust than eat the dust, right? Right, okay, next. Next slide. So, after you see this, I always ask people this. Where do you see yourself fitting in? Not what I want for you, because I'd have everybody be a gold director elite. I'm going to tell you, the options that you have across the planet are unbelievable. You can go anywhere you want, do whatever you want. It makes no difference. You do something significant with your life, and you can help a whole bunch of people. In the chain of events of you either doing it or not doing it, you're going to open doors for others to see this or close them because you didn't want to take your eyes off of yourself. So even if you decide, I don't want to do this, give the person that was here some references of people who have the hearts of champions. Okay? Let them have a chance to see this, or they may never, ever even hear about it. If 10,000 new people heard about Karatbars, 10,000 people every single day for 25 years, only 1% of the population of the world would ever hear the name Karatbars. That's the fine line you're here. And so when people see this, where do you see yourself fitting in? You want to use the account for self-protection? Plant a financial flag in your reach? Exchange some paper money for gold money? You'll buy more stuff in the future if you only do that. Or do you want to use the account for self-protection and work Karatbars any way you want to work it, as long as you read the terms and conditions on the Karatbars? Represent the company well. This is our house. You're my brothers and my sisters. Okay? We have to guard the doors. Understand. We're going to come under fire. Nobody's ever done this before, but let me make one thing perfectly clear. Fire tempers steel. And we're here to win, not to just play. And so if you want to come on a team that is here to win, get back with the person that brought you here and say, you know, I want to participate in this level. But if you, option number 3, if you're serious about creating an asset that spins off pure residual income, free and clear of any encumbrances, that you can run a global business out of a box in a MasterCard anywhere in the world, then this is the business for you. But there's dynamics that I want to ask you if, let's see if what you want matches up with what you're willing to do, to see if that's a program for you. I don't know if it is or not. You're the only one that's going to know. Next slide. You want to follow what we do? Don't complicate it. Duplicate it. Okay? And so, if you go see this, carrotgroupteam.com, that is the culmination of every single thing I've failed at, everything I've learned, and that I test drove in secret for 5 months straight without telling anybody. That produced 30% growth per month, every month, month over month. Do you like that? What would a business owner say if you could get a franchise and they told you this, we have a plan, and if you follow the plan, results have already been seen that some business owners have made 30% growth each month over month for 5 months straight. Would you like to take a look at that one? But this isn't a franchise. This is a duplicatable model. Become a brick and duplicate the brick. And so go see that. There's 3 videos on there, red, blue, and green. Next to them is 3 PDFs. They're printouts. That's the blueprint to make this work. Okay? And if you do that, and you want to do that, look to see if you're willing to do what's on that, and then you can expect to have some similar results if you follow the plan as described and find like-minded individuals. Half the problem is, who's played telephone here? Anybody played telephone where you tell somebody and they tell somebody and they tell somebody? By the time you get down the end of the row, ain't nothing going to be like what you said. Right? That's the problem with networking. They're an e-commerce company. We're the ones that figured out the plan and take what they had and make this what we have. They didn't. We did it. And so you can see a presentation and a webcast and a little training similar to this at 24karatgoldmoney.com. You want to see that. Okay? That's a blueprint. Somebody says, how do you make money? How does this work? Oh, that's an analytic person talking and they want to know how. Good. Send them to karatgroupteam.com and watch the 3 videos and download the PDFs for them to look at. That's what you do. Next slide. That's page number 1. This is a little training right here too. That's what it looks like. This is the macro view perspective. If you want to create an asset that will spin off hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, maybe a month, and eventually a week, there has to be dynamics that let it grow. Would you agree? And there's going to be things that people do that won't let it grow, correct? So if you can measure what happens just 3 people away from you, you can see if the message is being duplicated. That's the whole purpose of this. Then if the message isn't being duplicated, you can correct what you can't correct or expect what you can't inspect, right? So here's how we measure it. Okay, now, it has the system that I showed you. It has the premise of the mindset first. In the times we live in today, do you think there's anybody out there somewhere that might want to take a look at a legitimate business plan to produce $4,500 a week of passive income in 12 weeks? That's the mindset you have to have. That keeps it going. Then there's the system. Are you willing to do the system? And last is the dynamics. Number 1, there is no bargaining. You only bargain with success. Figured it out. I'm going to buy the grams through my wife's account, not my own. Wrong. It's going to duplicate that. It won't work out the same way. Okay? Buy in your own account to start with. But I don't get points and units for it. That's right. That means that when you create volume in your own account, your sponsor gets a direct commission from 0.5 to 6% based on their efforts. And so when you sponsor people and they do the same thing, guess who makes the 0.5 to 6%? You do. Duplicate that, and as fast as possible, you're not even using your wallet. It's done. It's all self-replicating past that, keeping the train on the track. Number 1, do your share, do work. Thinking Karatbars eats your lunch because you want it bad, but thinking about it, eats your lunch. Doing it, buys your lunch. Okay? Buys it. Love it. Okay? So next, you got to connect your team together with your senior partners. What's a senior partner? Somebody who sponsored at least 20 people, started up at least 20 people, knows how to show the plan. They don't need anybody else to do it. They can do it themselves. They can do 3-way calls. They can effectively answer questions and point people where they find the information. When you have a question about price, send them to akaratbars.com. akaratbars.com. Question about price. Great question. You know where we find the answer? akaratbars.com. Okay? Guess what you just taught that person to do? How to answer the question without having to know what the question, the information on the question, right? Empower them to direct traffic instead of know everything. Okay. Second, go back 1 slide. Is the third. Monitor what you do. Evaluate it. Okay? What builds belief is if for people that want to create an asset, serious, to commit to a plan, show your invoices. Don't show them your income. Take them to your invoices and show them. You know, Bill, you want to join our team of 14. You know, I wouldn't be asking you to do something I'm not willing to do myself. Right? Nobody's very sorry they got gold on their shelf. Right? And the faster you do that, the faster it builds belief. And then you can take them to your unit section, where you can inspect who is doing it and who's not. That gives complete transparency. Who is doing what and what they bought and when they bought it. The last but not least, here's the mindset. If you're going to create an asset, you have to be 100% cash flow positive. So your goal and your mindset is to take that discipline of the first page and get yourself completely off your wallet. Your goals, that should be your focus goal, is to get off of your wallet and create enough revenue that keeps coming in that you never dip into your wallet, whether your paycheck or anything else, whatever it is. In order, this completely is self-contained. You truly are. You can have a multi-deca-millionaire business in this and never need any employees. Somebody else pays for them. Never need a storefront. Somebody else pays for it. Don't need to do a payroll. Somebody else takes care of that. Right? And so that's your goal. Whether you do it at bronze, whether you do it at silver, whether you do it at gold, whether you do it at VIP, it doesn't matter. Just get yourself 100% cash flow positive. And even if you take the money out in your hand for 15 minutes before you go buy gold, guess what? Just sit there quiet, look in the mirror. Just don't say nothing, just look. And you think about all the hard work you used to do performing tasks for somebody else and work harder than that. You just worked a little hard for yourself in cracks of time and didn't give up nothing. That's the mindset. And understand, that sheet was designed and perfected after that because any time the business stops replicating, go back to that page and number one, do an evaluation with you and your tasks. And then you can say, you know what, I stopped doing that. Start doing it again. And that will replicate. People get out of the creative phase and they get in the management phase and then everybody manages each other and guess what happens? Nobody gets in the creative phase, okay? This keeps the wheels on the track. Next slide. This, for the first page, was the big picture. This page is the little picture. This is the individual first 30 days I want people to focus on. I don't want them thinking about nothing else. I don't want them combing the internet for all the different stuff because that ain't going to make you money. It's going to waste time out of the creative phase. Good, you can do that after you've done your work. That top right there, 2 tasks make you make money. Task number 1, enroll, get a package, KYC, buy 1 gram a week for 12 weeks in your own account, keep buying gold. Task number 2, team up with 2 people that repeat. Task number 1 and task number 2. You'll have connecting the bricks, put a lot of money on this. And guess what? You'll acquire a whole bunch of this. 2 weeks ago, we got 1.1 pounds of gold from the system and still got paid cash. Do you like that? Is anybody here that wants that? Yes. It ain't going to happen overnight. Rome wasn't built in a day. But you know what? You do this. Boom, 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 ah. Boom, 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 ah. Boom, 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 ah. Boom, 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 ah. Okay? And guess what? It starts to replicate, and then you got 1 person a day coming in. And then it's 2 people a day. And then it's 10 people it's 20 people a week. And then it's 100 people a week. And then it's 200 people a week. And then guess what? It starts to go 50 people a day, 100 people a day, 200 people a day, 300 people a day, 400 people a day. And it ain't dependent on you. And yes, is it hard? The first 25 people is the hardest part. This is part training too. I'm just laying it out here. I never hold, and people know me, I'm the Repo Man, I don't hold anything back. Rather have you hear the facts and the truth behind it than give you a nice fluffy pat on the back. If you want that, you have to give your A-game effort. You have to give the same type of dedication that you gave to your boss. And if you give that, you'll find the people that are looking. This isn't about convincing people to be interested. This is turning over the cups to find the interested parties. They're out there. They just don't got a sign. I wish they had a sign. We just go look, hey man, you see that one right over there? It's right there. Have fun with what you do. Okay, now, then, there's 100 squares down there. I have done this over and over, and I did this for years. This right here, there's 100 squares. This is what I want you to do. In the next 30 days, I want you to ask 3 people a day to take a look. In 100 days, in 1 month, you'll ask about 100 people. That's all I want you to focus on. I want you to put the start date, and I want you to put the finish date on there. And anytime you say, well, I'm not sure that it's working, what does your success chart look like? Here's what I know without a fact. You ask 100 people for 3 minutes of their undivided attention. Not to listen to a message. Okay? This is just the way I did it. You can use internet technology, anything you want. The goal is to get people to see the plan. The simple way is you don't have to get fancy with it to use a phone in your hand. How many people got a phone? Wait. Let me ask a different question. Is there anybody in here that doesn't have a phone? There's usually 1 or 2. Okay? Most people got a phone. Simple way to duplicate, fast. Okay? And here's what I know. If you ask 100 people for 3 minutes of their undivided attention, and you play a message for them, and ask them their level of interest on a scale of 1 to 10, 80 people will listen to you. 20 people won't give you 3 minutes of their undivided attention. That is going to hurt some of you. It's okay. Don't take it personally. You don't know what's going on in their life. You're not there to make them listen, and don't try and force it. Okay? You will find enough people make it work. If you ask 100, only 80 will listen. Out of the 80 that listen and even want more information, only 40 people will actually see the plan. If you're in here tonight, you are one of somebody's 40. Okay? Out of 40 people that see this, 20 people instantaneously will enroll. They may ask 1, 2 questions, that's it. I'm in. Out of the 20 that instantaneously get in, 10 will instantaneously get a package. 10 at the same time. And out of the 10 people that get a package, 6 people are going to do this with or without you. They are not doing it for you. They see this as a way to get back after that. They see this as a way to make some additional revenue that isn't dependent on being at a job in case they got family members that are sick. They see this as a way of providing a college education for their kids. They see this as a way, if they're older, I'm not sure what's going to happen with this, but I'm not going to take any chances. I'm going to fill up my lifeboat. Okay? Plenty of different reasons. Some mothers that want to stay home and raise their kids. Okay? Charities that need a way to have a unique and perpetual fundraiser. Unlike an event, this keeps going. Mutually beneficial. Okay? And so we know that. So guess what that chart is? This isn't about you convincing people. This is about you eliminating people who aren't looking. It's easier to eliminate them than try and make somebody do something. Isn't it true? That's the mindset you have. You're looking to ask 100 people to eliminate the ones to find the 6 that are going to do this with or without you. And how many people does it take you to make this in the business? 2. You just found 20 people to fill spots. You found 10 people that are going to do something. And you found 6, so you're never going to stop from doing it. You found at least 300%, 500%, or 1,000% more people than you need to make it work. So when you want your sponsor to help you out, guess what? When you do this and you teach this, everybody, it's a feeding frenzy, and that's how you get 400 people a day enrolling. Right? You waited an hour to think about it, and 5 more people fell in. Right? You've had some explosive growth in this business here. Okay, now, next slide. So I showed you first what you do in the big sense, and if anything gets off track, you go there. I showed you what the first individual 30 days, so you can focus on that. That you have individual tasks to do that follows that. And then this is how we glue each other together. These private accounts, can you get anybody's information on them? You can't. This isn't an MLM company. It's an e-commerce company with private and secure accounts. The only way you can find out information is if they're willing to give it to you. So if at the time when you're introducing this to people, You don't isolate. Do you want to use the account for self-protection? Do you want to use the account for self-protection and work Karatbars any way you want to do it? Part-time, full-time, spare time, specialize in this, specialize in that, do whatever you want to do. Or do you want to commit to a blueprint plan in order to create an asset that stands on its own, spins off residual income, and acquires a lot of gold? This is how you connect the people that want to do option number 3. You actually are building a team. A team. You're going to draft an all-star team, and you only have to pay attention to 14 people. If you find 2 and they find 2 each, and those people find 2 each all the way down 12 weeks, how many people are in it? 4,096 people. That is overwhelming for people. They can't see that happen. Do you know there's going to be times when there's 4,000 people a day enrolling in your business over time? Not now, but coming. If for some of you, some. Okay? And the part of this is you only need to pay attention to 14. And that's not you being the superstar. That's you finding 2. So Jim, where do you see yourself fitting in? You want to use the account for self-protection? You want to use the account for self-protection and work Karatbars any way you want to work it. Part-time, full-time, spare time, specialize in any part, no wrong way to do it. Or do you want to commit to a blueprint plan on how to create an asset that spins off pure residual income and acquires a lot of gold? Where do you see yourself fitting in? You want to do option number 3? Okay, well let's see if what you want matches up with what you're willing to do. Let's go over here to page number 2, the slide before that. Go back 1 slide. Well, thank you. Are you willing to enroll an account? Yep. Okay, get them enrolled. Be ready for a yes. Know where your dual system is set before you enroll them, where they're going to fall. Key important. How many people have messed that one up? I've done it. If I had 10 hands, I'd tell you. Okay? Now, you willing to get a package? Yep. Which one do you want? I'd like to get the VIP, but I can only get a gold. Great, let's get the gold. Get them a gold. You willing to upload some documents to secure, protect, and establish your account? Yes, great. Do you have an ID, a driver's license, or passport? Yes, great. Do you have a scanner? Or can you take your cell phone with a picture on it and then email it to yourself? Okay? Do you have a copy of a bill that shows you where you are so that when they ship the gold insured to your address and in your hands, it's going to you because you need to sign for it? Okay? Yes, great. Then we get them uploaded. Okay, are you willing to buy 1 gram a week in your own account for 12 weeks? I think you should keep buying gold. But for 12 weeks in a row, you're willing to do that? Yes, great. Let me see if I can get Joe, my senior partner, on the line here. Okay? Hey Joe, listen, this is Dan. Listen, I only got a minute. I have Bill here. He wants to join our team of 14. Do you have a second, or are you tied up? No, you do? Great. Joe's going to go, hey Bill, so you want to join our team of 14. You enrolled and you got a package. Which one did you get? You got the gold. Great package. So you uploaded your documents. So you've been approved yet? Yep. Did you buy 1 gram a week? Yep. You willing to do it for 12 weeks in your own account? Think you should continue to buy the gold? Yep. Great. Then I wouldn't want you to think I'm asking you to do something I'm not willing to do. Let me show you my invoices. Thank you. What does that do to Bill's trust level? Goes right through the roof. When you're doing it, man, all you want to do is tell people. When you're not doing it, you're afraid you're going to get found out. And the difference is this. If you think about it, there's very little difference when you start doing it and putting action in how fast you are never using your wallet. You're mainly concerned as where you're going to find the $65, when if you understand if you do it, the $65 is created. Simple. Okay? And then you say, great, then let's exchange numbers. Because now, what's your username? What's your name, full name, username, phone number, email? Now you have a person, go to the next slide, that fits in one of those squares. Now it's not just some username, it's a person. Why are you doing this, Bill? My wife and I both work. I'm 55 years of age, and her company just announced they're being taken over, which means her pension is gone. It's going to get sucked up. Okay, that's what happens in acquisitions mainly. They go after the pension funds. My father was a assistant AVP for Eastman Kodak Company, retired at 53. That time, Eastman Kodak was the #1 company on the New York Stock Exchange, blue chip that paid the highest dividends of any company on the New York Stock Exchange. Retired at 53, at 82 years of age, Kodak filed Chapter 11. Lost half of his pension and his Primo medical plan. Okay? My brother-in-law, Bob, 30 days before it was his time, Kodak, he had the years of service with his age. Anybody work for a company that measured years of service with age? Yes. 30 days before that, I asked him, Bob, come take a look at what I'm doing. Oh man, I'm a company guy. I got it handled. No problem. 30 days before he was due to retire, Kodak sold off his division to Carestream, and they sucked up his pension. They gave him 6 weeks severance, and they hired him for 20% less than what he was making to do the same job. He's really bitter, and I don't blame him, and I love my brother-in-law. Okay? And so you never know where it's going to go. You can control what you do. You have the control over your destiny. You have the ability to take your eyes off yourself and help somebody else have a chance to see this. Okay? Now, we connect them together. Now, when Bill gets started, he doesn't know anything different but to do this. He's been trained by doing the process. That was the difference. Okay? And so when you start them up that way, they understand nothing but that. It's when you use a whole bunch of different stuff, or give them a fluffy pat on the back, or try and put them in a program that isn't right for them. That's when the message gets off track. Make sense? Okay. And so we use that together. And your team of 14 overlaps your sponsor's team of 14 overlaps theirs. And you can see and measure what is and what is not. It ain't hard. And then you can see if they're duplicating, because you can go into your unit section, you look straight down, put the username in there of the 14 you got on your sheet. And you can see if they're doing what they're doing, because there isn't any hiding. It's a voluntarily, this is it. We, not I, we are going to go make residual income, boost our retirements, and acquire a lot of gold. And you can count on me. I am going to do whatever I need to do to fulfill that. Whether I got to ask 2, 10, 20, 50, or 100 people to find the 2, I'll get better at what I do, just like I did when I was learning whatever I was doing. Next slide. Everybody needs to know about this. I told you about 10,000 new people. Next slide. This right here, Voices of Africa, very important. In Miami, lady Crystal Kigoni. She lives in Tanzania. Rich country, poor people. 1 in 5 women die in childbirth. There's no medical services. None. And it's got so much gold and it's got so many gems in it. And so she married a man there, and she took all of her consulting work and went to internet cafes and would make the money like, who's seen the movie Schindler's List? She was like that. Every penny she had to help the kids, because they'd come there. And they'd have yellow and orange hair because they were so malnutrition. And they were orphans on the street. She brought them in. And so we raised $6,000. This is us Karatbars family. Raised over $6,000. You know what that did? Paid for a school, tablets for the kids, cheap tablets, but they could learn. Fed, clothed, and housed 30 orphans for a year. We're doing good stuff, folks. And you know how she came to find it? She was in an internet cafe and overheard somebody at another table talking about Karatbars. And she got up out of her seat, walked over to the table and said, I couldn't help overhearing you. Can you make money in that? They didn't even ask her. There's people dying to know about this for really good causes. We need to take our eyes off ourselves and look at that. It's more than money. Money comes and goes. Can't take it with you. Okay? But we're doing good stuff together. And it's just beginning. Somebody enrolled the M Life hotels. Who knows what they are? Anybody heard of the MGM Grand? Yes. Bellagio? Yes. The billionaire owners of that think this is a good idea. Like that? Yeah. All right. That's why we're going to have our next event in Las Vegas. And we'll have a new contest coming up. You'll be able to even earn your way there. You want? With some work. So we're doing good stuff. And 10 euros out of every card that's sold goes straight to the kids. We're going to help them build a second school and a third school and a fourth school and a fifth school. Okay? Get women's health clinics in there. Next slide. Who succeeds? Who wants me to tell you how to save time? Anybody? Yes. This is what you're looking for. You're looking for people with the 3 Ds, couple of them. You can find 50 of them. This is what you're looking for. Dreams, desire, and determination. Dreams, they're talking about something that they want. They may even be talking about things that they don't want. Desire, they're willing to show up, pay attention. They're calling you. You're not calling them, they're calling you. Anybody have anybody keep calling them? Yeah, they're easy to work with, aren't they? Yes. Yeah, okay? You don't have to force this. You're looking for 2 people that follow it. Determination. Heart of a champion. They understand there's a learning curve to get good at anything. I stunk at the repo, man. I shook so hard that I couldn't even get the key in the ignition. Okay? Determination. They know there's a learning curve. They know what they want. They're willing to go through adaptations to get what they want. They make a plan, they commit to the plan, and they work the plan until they get what they want. It ain't hard. Some of you are taking more time trying to find your wife. Okay, next slide. So that's what you're looking for. So get good at it. This is what you're going to run into. This is what you're going to run into, folks. 95% of the population makes their money with a linear income. They've been programmed to do that, repetitive tasks. They work you like a battery, and then when you're out of juice, they get rid of you and they replace you with somebody that's got one. Okay? That's got juice. That's the way it works. Right? They'll never pay you more than they're willing to replace you with. And when there's more people looking, they'll settle for less. So this is what you're going to run into. Employees and self-employed, which bought themselves a job. I don't have any money. Well, how long you want me to hear that? Is that what you want? No. Well, if I showed you something that could get you more money, would you pay attention? Right? I'm too busy trying to get by. That's why I'm talking to you. You're so busy trying to get by. If you got sick and couldn't do being so busy, how much money you got coming in? You got a spare tire in your car? Yeah, you got a spare income in case something happens to you? Follow me? I have a job. Until you don't anymore. Do you know anybody that lost their job? Right? You have one till you don't. Okay? Would you hire you? Honestly, if you were a CEO of a company, would you hire you? Next, a gram. What good is buying a gram? A gram costs too much. That only means they ain't seen option number 4, right? Correct? How to acquire the most of the best quality for the least amount of time ever in personal finances. Set up a Karatbars dual team system. And do the 12-week plan to get the gold for free and acquire an income. I can't convince anybody. I don't want you to convince anybody. I want you to eliminate people to find the 6 that'll set you free. It's much easier to do that. Next. My friends, I can't read anymore. My friend said it won't work. I love that one. My friend said, when you make it, let me know. You know what? I didn't call him. I didn't call him. Okay? And at the same time, do you think I'm going to do it? Yeah. Then do you want me working for you? Yeah. Then get in. I'm going to do it regardless of whether you're going to do it or not. But you want to profit from it? You want to benefit from that? You want some prime real estate? Because I'm about to make this Malibu beachfront property. Okay?
The government will take care of it.
I love that. I love that one. It can, as long as it can continue to print money because somebody wants to buy your debt. When countries don't want to buy your debt, who's the only people that can buy your debt? You! Where are they going to get the money? They're going to tax or fee you. Right?
I will miss my TV show.
Oh, man. Don't even get me started. Hey, you know what? I got my favorite TV shows. You know what? Do you want to do this if I know you like your TV shows, but would you want to do this if it wasn't interfering with your TV shows? Yeah. Yeah, I guess I would. Okay. Then do you have a nice TV? Yeah. Do you have a nice couch? Yeah. Sell them! In 12 weeks. Sell them! In 12 weeks, that's probably enough capital to make this whole thing work for you. I mean, honestly, if you're making $4,500 a week because you did the work and you found other people willing to do the work, are you going to be watching that TV on that couch? No. Some of you are going to change zip codes, right? You are. You know it. You know what we're doing? We got a 3-bedroom apartment that we use 5 days a month in Dallas. We have another one that we have in Vegas. And we have another one we're going to have next to my mother in Colorado. We're just going to go where we want to go. You like that idea? My mother's got dementia. I want to be able to go anytime I want to go. I don't care what the plane fare is. I don't care how much time I got to spend there. I won't be with her. If you want that, you just got to create some residual income along the way. It's easy once you start doing it. It's hardest is thinking about it. Doing it makes it simpler. Next, this is what you're looking for in the 3 Ds, which is a bigger fishing pond. The people with a job and self-employed, right? So you're going to run into that. I am programming your brain so you go, oh, that's what Dan was talking about. Okay, I get it. And then you're going to find people go like this. Yeah, what do you got? How does it work? How much can I make? Watch. They're calling you. That's what you're looking for now. When you talk to people that are business owners who understand systems and people that are investors, they need to know this. This is not a speculative investment. It's a legitimate business plan to take a low 4 figures and turn it into a 6-figure residual income in less than a year, get a return of capital outlay in about 90 days by following the plan as described, to where you create an asset that stands all on its own, 100% cash flow positive, 0 risk exposure, spinning out pure residual income that you can take in any type of cash in 32 million locations, or pure gold bullion with no employees and no storefront, all utilizing a system paid for with someone else's money in 120 countries. Do you want to know more? You know what they say? How's it work? Watch. $2,000, that's it. Are you kidding me? I know people that think like me. You're going to find a whole lot different response from the people over there. But you got to get over you. Because the likely thing is going to be this. You're going to be thinking this. What do they think about me? You can come out with that statement. You might be thinking what a person doing what I'm doing is ever going to show you how to make money, because obviously you know how to make money. But I found a really good business plan to take a low 4 figures and turn it into a 6-figure residual in less than a year and get a return of capital in less than 90 days. To create an asset that's going to spin up pure residual income in cash at 32 million locations or pure gold bullion. Would you like to know more? Guess what? They're going to look at you and go, you doing this? Yep. I'm going to make a fortune. That's where you go, wow, that was easy. Jeb Lingau. 24 days, saw this program, started working it. Talked to Romy Kang. It was, she owns a house in Rancho Palos Verdes. $10 million home with no loan. Here's Jeb, broke. $3 on his debit card. And she knows it. But Jeb had tasted success. He made $1 million before, and then he started flipping houses. And he got caught when the markets went down, and he had 5 houses, right? And they took him back. Lost his investment, and then they sent him bills for the deficiency. But he was tough. He had a heart of a champion. And he started showing this plan, not with me. 10 minutes after we showed it to people, he was writing it down on a piece of paper, and 16 hours a day, every single day for 24 days, he was showing people. He didn't need anybody else. Are you looking? Are you looking? Are you looking? You're looking. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Okay? And he went from a digital bronze the first night where he had to borrow the money, the $135. He didn't have it on his card. And then 2 days later, the first night, we showed 14 people the business. He made calls all day, and he got 14 people over his house. And they asked me to drive up and show the business, and I did. 2.5 hours one way. How far would you drive for $1 million? Did you drive 2.5 hours? But you don't know that, right? You know how many times I've driven and didn't produce anything? I drive on in first gear on 4 flat tires. Right? Because I want to be free. If you want to be free, what are you willing to do? I was willing to do that. 14 people saw the plan. 11 people enrolled. 6 people got packages right there. They saw the plan. They enrolled immediately. They bought a package. 2 of them were VIPs, even though he was just a bronze. He made enough money from that to go silver 2 days later and pay back the $135. Okay? And then he worked hard. Boom, 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 boom. And then with 4 days more, 6 days in the business, he upgraded to gold. 7 days more, 13 days in the business, he made enough money to upgrade to VIP, all from nothing on his debit card, but working his rear end off. What's behind your belly button? Okay, he wanted it bad. He wanted to be the hero to his wife again, who'd been carrying him since then. Okay? Want to be a hero to his family. And he did. And then, 9,000 people later, since July 16th of last year. This July 16th will be 1 year. That wake of him doing that incredible amount of work, they knew this. I'm not even sure what he's doing, but you are going somewhere. Okay? It's amazing what activity can do. And he knew, he was humble. He wasn't a show star. He was humble. And he always looked toward them. Romy, think about how many people we can help. Okay, you might be wondering what a guy doing what I'm doing now is ever going to show you about making money, because if I were you, that's what I'd be thinking. Is that what you're thinking? Because that's what I'd be thinking. But I found a really good business plan. It makes a lot of sense, and if this is working for me, can you imagine what you could do with it? Okay? She looked at it, she goes like this. How long has this company been around? Over 4 years? Really? It's a good company. Nobody's told me about it. That's why I know it's a good opportunity. She got in VIP, immediately found 5 VIPs with 5 phone calls. This is what I'm doing, this is where I'm going, you come with me, yes or no. It can cost you about $2,500 by the time it gets all done, blah, 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 blah. Okay? This is what we got to do. You got to come to the training because I don't know enough, but we know people that do. It was that simple. Literally. You get in that sphere and they just, right? And so he asked us, you know, Romy, why didn't you think anybody, Romy said, why don't you think anybody asked me? Jeb said, probably because they know you don't need any money. She goes, how do you think I made money? How do you think I got this house? I got wind of an opportunity before the wings of change happened, and I got in the front of it. That's how you make money. You got to have that momentum of a change in either commerce or habits. Changes that. She got in the front of it. So there you go, all these different things. You know, many people won't ask a billionaire to take a look at this, will they? You know what? That's how they get to be billionaires. Making my point? Sometimes we get focused on just trying to find one. And so you babysit them. Ain't it just nice to be, okay? You know, please, please, please. You don't have to do that. And they know it. When you do that, then they know it. You don't need to do that. Guess what? There's more than enough people today, they're looking for it. So, your attitude means everything. You know what? Anybody can find 2. Many will find more than 10. The government isn't going to own me, and that's why they make TiVo and DVR. Right? I can watch my shows when I need to. All those, whichever way you think, you get to own it. But that is, I'm just programming your brain. You're going to run into that. And so you get to choose and understand. It isn't you. That's the way that works. How many people here have ever washed dishes? All I want you to do is units of work. I want you to take a dirty skillet. You put it in the sudsy water. You scrub it. You rinse it once. You rinse it with clean water, and you put it on the rack. You take a dirty saucepan. You put it in the soapy water, you scrub it, you rinse it with clean water, you put it on the rack. You don't have to have a love affair with the saucepan or the skillet. You just got to do a unit of work. Do 100 units of work, and I dare you to tell me that that doesn't work. So if 100 units of work kept you from living the life that you want and doing the good things that you can do with this, that's the measure of how you feel about you and the world. The great thing about that is, that's a perception. I never looked like this, folks. I had a beard. I had no white collar, no blue collar. I had no collar with lunch on my shirt. And I drove around a truck that had 737,000 miles on it. Okay? I used to take good trucks, but they used to beat it up. I said, no, I'm just going to run them right. You know? And so you never know where they're going to be. Somebody took the time to ask me, and I'm forever grateful that they did, because it changed my family's perception and the ability to help my son. Changed the ability for me to tithe to good things. Okay? Money's not good or bad. It just brings out more of who you really are. If you're not good in here in the right motives, you'll spend it on stuff that you don't want anybody to see when they're not looking. Okay? And if you're a good person, man, can you do so many good things. Okay? So it's your choice. Next slide. I'm just about done. Important to us all. This is very important. You need to understand and recognize. Why don't you read that for me?
In USA, do not use terms investment or give tax or financial advice. If you do not have a professional license to do so, direct to those who do. Doing so puts you, not Karatbars, under set FTC laws. We operate under an international bullion laws set forth by the World Trade Organization under the harmonious tax codes. We are private issue 24-karat bullion, except for most tariffs and duties. ICE agent, ICE, have an important tax over $2,000 value into USA on anything you are responsible for reporting all applicable earnings to local authorities. Karatbars does not send out 1099s. Reporting is your responsibility. This is not a tax evasion plan. Read your terms and conditions. That's so deep. Read your terms and conditions. Protect our Karatbars home from being misused. KYC.
Yeah, know your customer. Next slide. That might be the last one. Karatbars stands for everything sound, solid, and truthful about money. Make no mistake, we figured out how to do things. We figured out how to help you get what you want out of the account, not what the person that invited you here wants you to do. Whatever it is that you want to do, we can help you do that. The question is, we know where we're going. Do you want to go where we're going? We're not going to sit and hatch anybody. There might be 2 people in here that make decisions that change just from perceptions here. Next slide. Here's how you get connected. You can take a picture with your cell phone if you want. Okay? We do webinars every day, 7 days a week, 12 noon Eastern, 9 p.m. Eastern. So if you want to do this, you can direct it, or your teams have their own. Your teams have their own webcasts, conference calls, etc. Connect with your team. Your team knows how you work and how you duplicate. That's the most important thing. Do not change anything without talking to your senior partner or your director. We have very qualified people to help you get what you want. And understand, as the paper money and symptoms in society increase in chaos, our plan will be more and more and more attractive to those people. The worse it gets, the better we are. Okay? Have a spare tire in your car. Next slide, I think that's it. Get in, get started, and get committed. In 12 weeks, you can be free. You might do it in 8 weeks. You might do it in 20 weeks. If it took you 52 weeks to do it, because you're only a quarter as good as you think you are. In 52 weeks, you're going to be 52 weeks older unless you plan not to be there. The question is, are you going to be where you want to be? You don't have to give up anything. Bolt on 2 tasks. Work it any way you want to work it or commit to follow a plan. Next. Thank you very much. That is all I have to teach you. This was more than just a presentation. It was how to take the Karatbars opportunity that they provide as an e-commerce company, but they don't teach you how to do diddly, do what, squat. Who knows that? Right? And we figured out a way and a method that works if you work it and find like-minded people.